they presented their arguments. It was like battle. And I wanted to just briefly give you some more background about the Toronto District School Board, the 4 meetings. Alongside the 4 meetings, there were reactions from Chinese government side. The very first, there was only anti-part. And the second part, the second meeting, the opponent, the supporters showed up. And then also Chinese government, Hanban and Hunan province, the Chinese partner of this particular CI, both wrote letters to the Toronto District School Board, sort of put pressure on them, saying if you want to terminate this agreement, it was going to harm our relationship. And also, you saw a Chinese guy. I was trying to talk to him. He was the founding chair of a coalition of Toronto Chinese Canadian organizations, which is the known agency of Chinese government. So he himself also wrote personal letters to each and every 22 Toronto District School Board trustees, also encouraged them not to abandon the agreement. And after the third meeting, when the termination proposal was but was put into the final meeting, was going to be a topic to be voted. The Chinese government there was an article in Globe and Mail. It says the Toronto District School Board faced some sort of backlash from the Chinese side when they decided to vote on the termination of the CI agreement, because the Chinese, as all school board, Toronto District School Board trying to recruit more Chinese students, right, financially support them. But unfortunately, they couldn't find a partner, as you saw in the film, couldn't find a partner inside China to help them recruit Chinese students. That was after the third meeting. So that's the reactions from the Chinese government side. Unfortunately, I couldn't include into the film. And also an interesting thing I observed among those supporters to CIs, I also saw another leader of the Chinese organization is called Cross Culture Professionals Association of Canada, in short CPAC. I saw the chair of CPAC also showed up among the supporters, and she actually just a couple months before she showed up at one of the supporters, she was in Beijing to be awarded by the Chinese government, Overseas Chinese Affairs Office of the State Council, to be a sort of excellent overseas Chinese organizations. And then she came back to Canada and showed up as a supporter of the CI. So those are interesting things I observed. And also one information I want to input, the CI in Beijing is led by a council whose over 20 members are the senior officials, usually are minister or vice minister of the Chinese government, or the high-ranking officials of the Chinese Communist Party. And the chair of the council is Ms. Liu Yandong. She is one of the Politburo members of the Chinese Communist Party. So everything has to be directed from that council. And that particular chair, Ms. Liu Yandong, was also a former chair of Front Work Department, United Front Work Department, which is identified by the Western intelligence agencies as a spy agency of the Chinese Communist Party. So that's a background.
You mentioned in the film the sudden resignation of the chairman of the Toronto School Committee. There was a lot of suggestion there that he was corrupt. Was he prosecuted? Do we know the rest of the story?
Unfortunately, during the time when the CI situation popped out, he was already being investigated by Globe and Mail reporters who specialize on education because of some other scandals. But CI is among one of the most serious one. But after he resigned, there was no words of his whereabouts. And I read something saying he was going to open a school in Vietnam or doing something in China. But yeah, I sorry, I don't know his whereabouts.
You were also threatened by the minister in British Columbia at the end of that scene. What did anything come of that?
Not yet, just because I think it's very early stage of the promotion of the film. Not many people know about that, and it took me 3 years. So they probably, I don't know what kind of reactions they will give me when they saw the film. And also, I was asked by some people, is there any reactions from Chinese government? So far, no. So far, no, because perhaps they haven't heard about the film. But perhaps Han Ban knows about my doing this film because while I was interviewing the two ladies in the Vancouver schools, the Chinese CI director was actually filming me doing the interview from back, using her smartphone. She told me already before the interview she was going to film the interview and send the footage to Han Ban. I don't know if it's routine for any CI directors, Chinese directors, to report any media present on their campus, or it's just toward me. I don't know that. But coincidentally, after that interview, I wasn't able to get any access to any CIs. Like you saw all those telephone response to reject my interviews.
So you talked about not too many people have seen the film. Thank you. It was very powerful. I'm still processing it. It's a labor of love. What are your plans for distribution here in the U.S.? I mean, you put it on, a couple of sites and it goes viral. What are your plans?
This film is not. I don't have the ownership of this film. I'm the director producer. And this film is owned by Toronto-based, now called Lofty Sky. They now put the film on Vimeo video on demand. So everyone is interested in to rent or stream to download it, and it's accessible. And I guess they will soon launch the film, release the film on some other digital platforms like iTunes, Amazon, I guess Google Play, whatever, the new medias. And they have been trying to sell the film to broadcasters. So far, it hasn't got any response. Yeah. So if anyone is interested in screening the film, we encourage individuals and organizations to just host community screenings. Actually, today's the U.S. premiere, and the students in University of California, San Diego, they are hosting 2 screenings tomorrow and Friday on their campus. And last week, University of Manitoba in Canada hosted 1 community screening on their campus. So that is the one thing I particularly trying to promote, the community screening. I believe particularly in those university and schools where there are Confucius Institutes on campus. I particularly want to bring the film to their campus.
We might like to do something with the Chinese Culture Institute, screen the film and how to.
Okay.
So can you talk about that?
Yeah. So you have a flyer like this, and on the flyer, on the back, in the bottom, there's contact information, and so just email me or call me whatever way and also the website, there's a website underneath, so you can access the website to get more information about the film and how to contact us to host the screenings or do things together. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. Those of you who stayed all the way through this, you're heroic. Sorry, one more question.
Have you been in contact with either C-SPAN or a public broadcasting system here in the United States?
Not yet.
C-SPAN, if you're listening, here we are.
Yeah. Actually, when the film was premiered at the Canadian festival, the audiences were so shocked and asked me, "Did you bring the film on CBC? You know, CBC is the largest TV in Canada." And I said, "We rejected." And the audience says, "Oh, we should launch a letter writing campaign." just we want the film to be seen. Thank you. Yeah.
And thank you all for coming, for staying.
Thank you.
Thank you all for listening.